Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have James. James is from New Jersey in the USA. So let's see what James has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
There we go.
Yeah.
Apologies. How are you doing today?
Hello, James. I'm very well. How are you?
Doing well.
So tell me,
Definitely.
how's your day going
Sorry.
so far?
So far, work was pretty slow, just had to push through and keep myself busy. Overall, pretty good day. Just happy it's Friday. How was your day?
Good as well, actually. I'm not in my place. I'm house sitting this week. A friend of mine, a good friend, he's traveling, and so I'm staying his place for this week, which is good. He lives in an area that I like a lot, in Canary Wharf in East London, and so yes, I'm great. I'm glad it's Friday as well. So yes,
Right.
you know the fried vibes, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you just want the weekend to come and then you're like, Monday, please get hit by a bus.
You know what? I love Mondays. I love. It's not easy. It's not. I know it's not easy,
Uh,
but I love Mondays. I think I see Mondays like as I start of a new week and something starting somehow. So I always liked Monday. Sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, I see Monday as a good day.
I like that perspective. I see it as what emails am I getting? What am I going to see in my email when I log on to work or when I get to the office?
So James, tell me where you're from.
I am from Williamstown, New Jersey. Well, currently residing in Williamstown.
Right, and that's the place where you're born and raised.
Born in Cape May, New Jersey. So about an hour and a half away from where I'm currently residing.
I see. And why the change for your hometown to Williamstown? Yeah.
Yeah. I ended up having a job opportunity in Delaware, and it was lucrative, so I made that jump. And my husband, he is still working in Atlantic County, so it's the midway point. I'm still trying to drag him by the feet. He's clawing into the ground. I'm trying to get him to go over that bridge to Delaware. Just make it easier, like rip the Band-Aid off.
So tell me, what do you do for work, for living?
Commercial lines insurance. I work as an account manager.
Hmm.
So basically, the service side, you have to deal with people who sit there and go, "Oh, we moved to this location 6 months ago." I'm like, that would have been nice to tell me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
James, before we start our journey, Will in the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
I am an identical twin.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, identical twin and completely polar opposites.
Is your twin brother gay as well or not?
No, he's heterosexual. Yeah.
Wow. So tell me, what's the biggest difference between you and your twin brother and the biggest similarity?
Biggest difference is political ideology, and similarity is where we would want people to be. Like him and I both agree that equality should be something that already exists, but
Yeah,
we just have different ways of going about it. He wants to just sit there and go, "We don't need legislation." I'm like, "But we do."
absolutely. And he lives back in your hometown, New Jersey?
No, he lives in Northwood, New Hampshire now.
Hmm. Okay, amazing.
Yeah, he was in the
Okay.
military.
Ah, right. Right. So before doing the join, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career and about your joys in life as well. Okay.
Okay.
James, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
I am.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Okay, hello from the fun questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
All right. Okay.
Let's do it. Wow, there you go. You can join me dancing all the time.
Mhm.
James, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay?
Okay.
First question for you is, when was the last time that you laughed so hard that you couldn't stop laughing?
All right. So this was a couple years ago, and let's just say we were having a lot of fun, and there was a discussion about the water table being high, and it set me off. It was just like the stupidest thing, but to me, it was the funniest. It was uncontrollable laughter for about an hour and a half.
Tell me something, James. What's the best part of being you? What's the best part of being James when you analyze yourself?
Best part of being me, I guess it's a mix of good and bad. So, like, a lot of people have self-image issues. I have self-image issues, and people sit there and go, they tell me, like, you wouldn't be the person I'd expect to talk to me. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I? You're a human being, and like, I don't see anybody as below me or above me. I see everyone as equals. And unfortunately, it does translate to conversing with other people at an adult level when they're not adults. Like, I don't know how to dumb down for kids, so sometimes I get yelled at. But for the most part, I treat everyone as equals.
Absolutely. And you always had long beard?
I had longer. I had one down to here like a while back, and then it just changes the shape every now and then.
See? All right. Next question. Let's do it. Hey, James. Next question is, what is the silliest thing that you have posted on social media?
Silliest thing that I posted on social media would be on my TikTok. It was me and my pup hood, my harness, and just basically my pup play gear. And it was to the Billie Eilish "Don't Ask Questions That You Don't Want to Know." And it was just like doing little skits, like running back and forth, pretending like, doing just random things, but stitching together with it. It just seemed like crazy and zany.
Which platform on social media you use the most?
It's kind of like more so. I've just recently installed Facebook again, so I've been mainly focusing on that. I do have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I just downloaded Threads to try to migrate from Twitter because that's sinking shit. But yeah, so far recently it's Facebook.
I'm glad you signed up back to Facebook. That's why how we connected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I just signed up as well for Twitter, actually. I wasn't on it, and I was talking to a lovely man, and he told me, William, Twitter is good to promote the channel within the Magic Box. So I'm new there. Yesterday, literally, I was watching like a video on YouTube to how to use Twitter, how to, connect with people. So I'm brand new there. So for me, it's something new. I need to explore more Twitter, for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely good for branding and marketing.
Yeah. Next question. Let's do it.
All right.
Before the next question, James, tell me what you like the most about your job. What's the biggest joy of it? And the flip sides. Tell me something that you find very challenging.
So the most enjoyment that I get out of my job is when I go above and beyond and you have the insureds that they know, like, they could have subpar service and then they deal with me and they're just overwhelmingly thankful. So getting emails saying like, you're great, you're awesome, you rock, like, and then going to the client meetings where I'm bringing like, the senior account manager, myself, and the producer being like the son of the agency owner, going to every room and everyone's saying, "You're James, we love you." The downside is it is a lot of contract reviews, so it's a lot of stale, dry. You have dynamic moments, but it's really just you're reading a contract and you're trying to fit the pieces together and it gets boring after a while. Like there's times I'm just sitting, I'm like, I just want to go home.
All right. Next question is, if you could do something illegal without getting caught, what would you do?
That would be pretty bad. I don't know how to go about it, but probably destroy the current tax code and any tax exemption that organized religions have. As horrible as that sounds, it's probably going to get edited out, but it's the amount of damage they do is like, nah, like.
I think
like pay your fees.
I think a lot of people like that. For sure. Ready for another one?
Sure.
Let's do it. Next question.
Yeah.
You're a good dancer.
Thank you.
Next question is, what is a significant event that changed you?
Significant event that changed me. So I'd have to say asking my husband to be my boyfriend. I was in the closet for up till about age 32. Him and I were childhood friends. Like it's like a Hallmark movie story. We both had crushes on each other as kids. I moved away to San Diego, came back to New Jersey. I had this torso because I wasn't out, you know. So when I asked him to be my boyfriend, I was like, I'm not going to keep you as my dirty secret. I'm not going to hide you. I want to come out because you deserve that, at least that. And that's when I came out and started to genuinely break down the persona that I had to throw out to the world and try to organize and put back the pieces of my genuine self. So that would be the event.
Saying that, James, how was growing up as a gay boy as you came out as the age of 32? So walk me through a little bit about your journey.
So I don't know if my mother said she had she wanted to teach us young that AIDS wasn't contagious. We had a family friend who was dying of AIDS, and we went to go visit him, and we were young kids, and all we know is there's this thing that's killing him. That's bad. So that kind of scarred me a little bit. And then hearing throughout the years, like, because her cousin's gay, hearing throughout the years, like just slurs here and there, little digs. So it wasn't the greatest of, growing ups, but there's far worse in the world, definitely. I was gay bashed from grade 4 and 5 because somebody said that twins, there's always one that's gay, like bullseye. But after having beards and girlfriends to cover up the fact, it really was just San Diego. When I lived there, I started to explore more of my sexuality. So I always knew, like, from 7 years old, looking at football cards and going, hey, if I was a woman, I'd marry this guy. Like, heterosexuals don't say that.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's been an interesting journey. You definitely, when you're in the closet for so long, you have to dissect your personality and figure out what traits are genuinely yourself and what traits are you projecting to the world to safeguard yourself. And that was the hardest journey. That was the hardest part of it, because you had to take self-inventory. You had to look at just transactional moments between people, and then you have to learn to be honest with yourself. So that's kind of how I got to this point.
Which person in your family came out first?
My twin brother. He was I know he would be a safe person to come out to, because throughout the years, he's had gay friends, trans friends, and even with certain things like when gay marriage was up for vote in California, actually it wasn't up for vote, it was Proposition 8, I want to say, if I recall correctly, back in the early to mid 2000s. He was like, gays are trying to get married, marriage is, a man and woman in the eyes of God. I'm like, why are you going to deny them to be as miserable as you are? And that was able to, like, he's not really miserable, but, why are you going to deny gays the ability to be as miserable as their counterparts? And that struck a chord in him where he was like, all right, like, I'm not going to vote against it. So I was like, all right, cool. Like, he's malleable when you can reach him. So I knew he was going to be safe to come out to. It was over a phone call, and I put like Facebook posts and like, this person's making me happy, never said a gender, never said anything like who it was. So he called, he's like, bro, who the hell is making you so happy? Like, I want to know who's making my brother happy. I'm like, well, went through, I was like, well, they grew up on this street, and he's going through names of the girls that grew up on the street. And I'm like, I just keep telling him no. And he's like, just tell me who the hell it is. I'm like, well, Tammy and Matt say hi. He's like, Tammy? I'm like, no, Matt. He's like, oh. Are you happy? I'm like, obviously. He's like, well, I'm happy for you.
Wow. Do you think he knew it before you said?
There's a possibility. I've had so many beards, if you will, that there's like people will sit there and be, nah, there may be or may not.
Okay. Next question, James. Let's do it. James from New Jersey. Next question is, what was your favorite part about school?
Favorite part about school? All right. So my favorite part about school, it's going to sound kind of arrogant. We had a computer class. It was really basic. The computers were old, like monochrome black and green monitors. And during the era of C++, we were still using QBasic, like for learning in our school. And this one teacher came in and she was like, I know more than you. I'm 6 chapters ahead, blah, 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 like to the classroom. And I just did a simple, like, quick script to lock, basically, like, you had little Windows icons going all over the screen and randomized beeping. And she didn't know about control pause break to break the command so it would stop. And we were all just laughing at her. So, like, just being a little prankster in school, just with that stuff, like, never anything malicious, but just making sure that the teachers knew, like you have to watch out for me. If you say something, I'm going to call you out on it.
Did you ever, you and your brother, did you ever make jokes like changing like names or, confusing people?
So it was weird growing up because they kept us separate in class from different classes. Apparently we were part of this study for the Department of Education in New Jersey. So they kept the twins separate. The twins that came after us, they were allowed to be in the same classes. So at one point we only had one biology teacher, and him and I ended up in the same biology class. So we were sitting there one day and we were like, you know what? Here, he went to the back room to go grade a paper real quick. My brother and I switched our shirts and just sat in the same spots. He came out, he's like, Jason, get in your assigned seats. I'm like, we're in our assigned seats. It's like, you were wearing blue, you were wearing green. Now you're wearing green and you're wearing blue. Like, we would switch and do all that kind of stuff as well. I would go to his class and take his test for him, and he would sit there and go and take mine, just for shits and giggles.
That's funny. Next question. Before the next question, James, tell me, in your opinion, what New Jersey state stands out compared with other states in the US? Tell me something unique or interesting that maybe I just can find New Jersey.
So New Jersey has one of the oldest seaside resort towns, Cape May, which is where I was born. And the main thing that I would say that sets New Jersey apart from the rest of the country is there's such a diverse population that, granted, it's not going to be as diverse as California, but it's such a high concentration, especially near the cities, that you can find beautiful areas. We have plenty of diners. I think we're the diner capital of the country, because every like 2 miles is another diner. But just overall, it's a wonderful place. Like the rights and equality wise, LGBTQIA plus rights are pretty protected here, and I don't have to really worry. And I feel bad for my counterparts in other states where they don't have such protections. But New Jersey, it's littered with beaches and resort towns, and it's a fun place.
And how is being gay in Williamstown?
Williamstown, they don't really, nobody really cares. I have my Pride stuff still hanging out because this year I'm doing Pride all year long. Especially after the Supreme Court ruling, I want people who are uncomfortable to remain uncomfortable. So for the most part, everyone's quiet. They keep to themselves. Like our neighbors downstairs, they're allies. We have a couple, across the way we have a couple. I don't know what tribe they're a part of, but they had the progressive flag out there. Well, and then we have another gay couple that's practically right across the way from us. So amazing. It's accepting. Yeah. Plus we're close to Philly, so.
Cool. So you're very close to Philadelphia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
22-minute drive.
How long?
22-minute drive into Center City.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm planning maybe to go to Montreal in Canada to visit my godson, my best friend, and I might fly to Philadelphia because they're quite close as well. And maybe I'll get a 20 minutes drive and I might come to visit Williamstown.
Yeah, that, or if you do come to visit, definitely if you have time, we can definitely take you down to the shore points. You can go see Cape May, which is a Victorian seaside resort town.
Oh my God. It's recording, okay? You're promising, okay?
It's on film.
Amazing. Good. Next question is, which talent do you wish you had?
Talent I wish I had. That is a tough one. If I had to pick one, I would say being confident in any situation, no matter what is occurring. Mainly because I am one of those types where I have to study. Example, if I'm getting a dental procedure done, I have to watch 30 videos, study the whole thing the night before. Otherwise, I will be giggling. I am kind of shocked I'm not giggling right now, because nervous situations or serious situations, if I'm not mentally prepared, I just start giggling incessantly.
Wow. Wow, interesting.
So definitely being confident in any situation would be the talent I would want.
What's your star sign?
Aries.
April, March?
March.
Okay. Next question, James. Let's do it. Next question is, do you have any nicknames?
I have quite a few. So growing up, it was, Hey You, Jay, the Twin. When I worked at Wawa, people were calling me Wawa.
Why
Just
Wawa?
because it's a grocery store that originated out of Pennsylvania. They have the Canadian Goose, and I cannot remember the name of this tale, but a young Indian boy was paddling and saw the Canadian Goose flying in the air, and he called it Wawa, so they named it Wawa. So because I worked at Wawa, they were like, "Hey, Wawa." I'm like, "All right, like it's better than Hey You."
How do your twin brother calls you?
He just calls me Jim.
Jim? And
Yeah,
and your husband, how he calls you?
he just calls me Jim as well. Other than like the stereotypical angry but affectionate names. He'll call me Husbear. He'll call me. I don't know how far like what I can say, but mostly him and I use just Husbear interchangeably for each other.
See. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me, through those 2 years, 2020, when the world went literally upside down regarding the COVID crisis. Personally for you, what's the biggest positive outcome or the positive impact that brought to your personal life?
Personal life, it was pretty much the fact that I didn't have to really mingle with a lot of people. And then work from home became really prevalent. So that enabled me to have more of a work-life balance. Mm-hmm. And I got to spend a lot of time with my husband and our cats, and more so than I normally would.
I was checking your profile actually, and I saw some picture of your cats. I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, they are adorable. Kiki, though, I'm surprised she's not sitting here walking across the whole time.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
You always been a cat person?
I have. I always loved animals. Like growing up, when I was 3 to about 4 years old, we lived on a farm. My mother ran a horse farm. It was called Serenity Stables out of Goshen. And it's just being surrounded by horses, goats, geese, rabbits, just you name it. It's just, I'll be that guy at the party sitting there trying to tempt your cat out to pet it because I'm like, "You're a kitty, I want to pet you," or your dog, and like, "Come here, pup, like it's safe."
Next question is, what is the worst thing someone can say on a first date?
Worst thing they could say on the first date? I would say, I'd just say probably anything revolving them being a Republican at this point. It's just I have friends who are Republicans, but anything well, I guess more so I should reword that. If they say anything about Trump or DeSantis, positive things, I'm just gonna be like red flag, red flag. I need to go use the bathroom real quick, just to compose myself before I tell you we're done.
Amazing. Right, I have 3 questions left for you. Let's do it.
Okay.
James from New Jersey or Jim?
You can call me James or Jen.
Next question is, what hurt your feelings?
Oh, that could be a lot of things. So one thing is when you invest time and emotions into someone and they don't have the respect or integrity to have an honest conversation with you, and say they just ghost. Ghosting kind of that's hurtful, even if it's family members or whatnot. I even when I cut family members out of my life, I at least sit them down, have a conversation with them, say, "Hey, this is why this is happening." Not only just for my closure, but for their closure as well. So not having that closure, it's hurtful.
All right. And are you the kind of person that get hurts your feelings very easy, or you kind of can block it?
I have a pretty decent wall, but it's when I let that wall down, that's when the hurt can occur. So I'm very hesitant to let that wall down.
I don't want to be there when the hurricane starts. Okay.
I know it's like I'm just a big softy, so even people like my sirs, I'll always make sure that they're okay, or send them like messages, just telling them like, hey, like I hope you are thriving. I hope the day is treating you kindly. Like this type of messages, because as a person, I want to be the person I needed when I was young.
Absolutely. 2 questions left. Let's do it. James, next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever done for you?
Because there's been a lot of beautiful things that have happened. So probably I would say my husband coming into my life after, us not really knowing that the other person was gay and what have you, and just him being so warm and accepting. Like he is by far he likes to call himself an asshole, but he's by far one of the sweetest people I've ever met, and he will always think of me and other people. Like I remember the one time he just sent flowers to the office, and it wasn't like it wasn't our anniversary, it wasn't our first kiss anniversary, it wasn't our first day anniversary, it wasn't our wedding anniversary. It was just he saw that I was feeling down and he wanted to cheer me up. So like just small tokens like that. He just always does beautiful things for me.
And I can see him right now watching this interview and smiling.
Oh, I don't think he's aware that I'm actually doing this. I don't think I told him yet.
I'm sure he's gonna like. I'm sure you had so many beautiful things about him, so I'm sure he's gonna enjoy it, and he'll appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Ready for the last question?
Absolutely. Let's rip this Band-Aid off.
Let's do it. James, before the last question, people watch the interview right now. Maybe as you came out quite late, let's say, I mean, it's never too late. I think everyone come out, whatever it happens to everyone. But, you came out at 32 years old, as you said, you mentioned. People watch the interview right now. Maybe they are around the same age, or maybe they're older and they don't find a way to come out, or maybe they kind of see that maybe it's too late. Or what would be your best piece of advice for those people?
It's depending on the situation. If you have some form of community, rip that Band-Aid off. If you're alienated, or if something occurs, like the community is there for you. Like as much as it may seem small, even a small group of gay men, or like bisexual, transgender, they'll be there. Like you don't know how supportive a community can be until you rip that Band-Aid off and see like that they're there for you.
Absolutely. You said something very, very interesting, and it's so true. There's always someone out there that can help you somehow, that you can talk, that you can relate to, or you can open up, And sometimes we think that maybe we are the only one facing the same story, or maybe we are the only one there. But actually, there are so many people facing the same situation, or maybe they were not ready, and suddenly they just, find a way. And as you said, talking to people, or you try to open up with someone first, you can encourage, and you can feel safe as well, for sure. Last question for you is, if you could have been a moment or event in history, which one that would be and why?
I would probably have to say, I guess it would be stereotypical for our communities. I would say Stonewall, like just to be there, to get angry, to riot, stand up for the community. Because if we're not going to stand up for ourselves, then nobody's going to do it.
And I do believe that we are in the place we are right now because of those people, because they were so brave at the time, and they were literally in the front line. They were literally, starting something that is still a long way to go for us, but at the same time as well, I think, we're always going to be grateful for those people, because they literally, some people, they lost their lives, for us to be in the place we are right now. I think so. Good point. I like that. So then, yet, let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
All right.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with money.
Evil.
Family.
I'm sorry?
Family.
Family, love.
One word for life.
Yeah. Precious.
Love.
Living.
Sex.
Fun.
You like fun?
Fun. Who doesn't like it?
Politics.
Necessary.
Religion.
Unnecessary.
Fear.
That's necessary. It's, well, sorry, one word.
You said unnecessary, you said.
Fear, I'd say necessary.
Unnecessary, yeah.
Fear in order to grow.
Absolutely, I totally agree. One word for friendship.
Amazing.
Desire.
Complicated.
Yeah. Regrets.
Unfortunate.
Success.
Amazing.
Wish.
Magical.
One word for happiness.
Fulfillment.
One word for New Jersey.
Pork roll. It's going to start a war, because everyone's going to be like, Taylor Ham. Like, no, pork roll.
One word. The last one now. USA. One word.
Troubled.
Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, what is the most beautiful thing about James, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What he would say?
I'll probably start with what I need to improve and work on, to stop and not let my anxiety overtake my, the higher brain function, instead of just going to the fight or flight. Example, like if my prep area, if there's an object there, my brain will sit there and go, there's something blocking, you are not prepared, you are going to fail making this meal. And literally all I have to do is just move that object. So that's what you would say I would have to improve on. As for what my strengths are, what makes me me, is
the most beautiful thing about you.
Being unfiltered and unadulterated when it comes to loving the people around me.
Wow. If I would ask the same question to your twin brother, would be the same answer?
His would be different, because we have a different dynamic. He would probably sit there and say, have more confidence in myself. And the qualities would be just that I will argue with someone in order to get my point across and not necessarily argue from a place of falsehood or disingenuous, but to be able to get my point across, like try to get them to see my side. I'm already looking at their side, but I want everyone to kind of meet at the center, not centrist though. Far left.
Amazing. Let's play now, James, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the news one more time. Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, James, you can ask me a question now.
If you could change any one event in history, which event would you change?
My God, good question, good question. Okay, one event in history if I could change. Good point to put me in the spot now. Wow. You know what? I'll tell you something now. The first thing that came to my mind, you know, the other day I was watching a documentary about the Kennedys, the Kennedys. And I felt so sorry about the tragedy that happened to the president when he was assassinated, and after his brother, and after, you know, his son lost his life in a plane crash. It really touched me somehow. I knew about the events, but I never kind of watched into it, And I think I would change the assassination of, Kennedy when he was assassinated by his wife, by his side. You know, this moment, I think it touched a lot of people, it changed a lot. And I think that was the start of, the one tragedy after another. Do you know what I mean? And I think I just been touched about the situation, and, and it was, so sad to, to see this man, I never followed politics, in the US or, in other, I don't understand anything, but somehow it touched me that watching this documentary about their lives and about how things, started. And I think I would change this moment for some reason. I just felt it was so sad, to leave this little boy, the children, and the family, his wife as well. And how everything directed in a direction that, and be the president in the US. I don't know. This was the first thing that came to my mind right now. So it was something that touched me somehow. And I would change this moment just to, I think it was really, really sad to see so many people, around the US, not just there, but a lot of people, suffering about, because it was something really, was a moment that's, it marks a lot, the politician or politics in the US. So that's something that came to my mind right now, for sure.
Well, great answer. I love the humanistic aspect of it.
Yeah, it's and actually when I was watching about his son when he died on the plane crash, it was so sad as well the way it finished. You know what I mean? So, James, did you enjoy the interview?
I did. It was definitely something outside my comfort zone, which I'm trying to do more of.
Amazing.
And you're an awesome host. I didn't ever feel like, anything was, how to put it, didn't feel anything out of the ordinary or any, like, you're just an awesome human being. So thank you very much.
Oh, thanks for the kind words. And so, sometimes going out of our comfort zone, you have no idea, how far you can go. And I think, as you said, this kind of situation, like doing an interview and connect with people, it's a big step, because, you connect with people and express ourselves. It's amazing, it's great. And somehow people, they appreciate that, and they connect with us as well, because you shared so, events in your life, being a twin brother, just those things, people, they relate to us, and people like to hear that. So thanks so much for being open and accept my invitation. I'm glad that you accept, and we literally made memories right now.
We did. We'll cherish the memories that we made.
Amazing. Before we go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
Try to leave people as close to 100%, if not better, when you part ways. You never know when that person is going to exit your life or not be there. So just cherish everybody.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Regard to your husband and to your family, and you keep in touch, okay? It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.